And Faith is back all the way from Japan. And she's
Yay.
glad to be here, and we're glad she made it okay.
Hi. Boy, and are my arms tired.
Long flight, isn't it?
Yes, it was 12 hours there and little less than 9 hours back. We had a tailwind.
Going east you do.
Yeah, we didn't have one going in.
No,
and stairs. All I can say is practice. Go up 30 flights a day to practice. Trust me, you will thank me for this later. I ate a cricket while I was there, and it was sweet, not salty.
Mm-hmm.
Never experienced jet lag before. That was an experience that I would really rather not ever experience again.
Okay.
While I was there, though, I went to Fabric Town.
Okay.
And they don't have their fabric stores aren't like you have a Joann's over here and you have Fabric Depot and you have Ben Franklin or your local quilt shops. They have a district or a town. And I was in Tokyo, and you just start walking down this road and there's a button shop and there's a ribbon shop and there is a shop that sells clover items, which is really quite funny because I always thought clover was United States. They're the exact same things we have, except it's all written in Japanese. And it's like, well, and it's cheaper there. What's wrong with that? We get robbed. But we had fun. Okay. We had fun. Also, the fabric stores, the one I went to, it was called Tomatoes, or Tomato. And the bag, my husband threw it away, has a big tomato on it. And it says Tomato. It was 5 stories tall. And you take the elevator. What we did was we took the elevator to the top and worked our way down because Mama didn't want to do any more stairs that she had to. I was not going to start from the bottom and work my way up. But on one of the floors, my son Corey asked if I could make a yukata. Yes, a yukata, which is a robe that they wear. It's similar to a kimono, but this is one that's worn as a robe, as opposed to
it's a
regular clothing. Yes, it's a house coat. Then there is, let me make sure I get this right, omatsuri hape, and it's a shorter coat. This one, what you would see on your right here is a female version, and this one is a male version. It's a little longer. And something I found out was I saw a couple people in kimonos, only a couple. There really weren't that many. But I found something out. A woman's sleeves are different than a man's sleeves. A woman's sleeves are longer. And I think it depends on if they are married or not. There's all kinds of things that change how they are. So I did pick up 2 kimonos and 2 obis while I was there at a thrift store, which was fun because the little lady's like, that no fit you, mama, that no fit you, haha. Haha is mom. And she says, that no fit you, mama, that no fit you, haha. And that's exactly how she was saying it.
Yes.
And Corey says, it's not for her. She's just buying it. I didn't have the heart to tell her I was going to cut it up and put it in a quilt. Because it's silk and it's gorgeous.
Yes.
And I knew I couldn't wear it, but I wanted something in a quilt from that. So I'm supposed to make this for my son and one of each of these for my husband and I.
And
now,
the instructions Will all be in Japanese.
where I will be contacting my son to read them for me. Now, this is the fabric that is going to be used for the yukata. This is for my son. It's a very masculine print. The koi are considered very good luck, or the carp, koi carp. They are good luck in the Japanese culture. And this was actually we thought it was very beautiful. And the fabric itself is actually, it's 100% cotton, but it's quite heavy.
It's heavy.
But it's supposed to be warm because their climate is just about similar to ours, except that it's windier there.
And there's no central heating. And the walls are
The houses
thin.
move too.
Yes, they do.
The one I stayed in, I had motion sickness the whole time, and my son finally said, "Well, Mom, the house moves. You know that, right?" No, nobody told me that.
That's one thing I neglected to tell her before she left on her
That
trip.
and the 30 flights of stairs a day if you're going to go sightseeing. Oh, and there was an earthquake there while I was there, and I was laying in bed, and it was kind of like, and then it was over. I didn't freak out, didn't get upset. There was no reason to, but it was actually quite funny because when I realized what it was, I laughed. And it's about 4:30 in the morning, so it was a 4.9. And my husband keeps track of that kind of stuff, so he got a hold of me and said, "Oh, you just had an earthquake." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." Anyway, this is the fabric that I'm going to use for the hape coat for mine. And this almost feels like decorator fabric, like you would almost upholstery. But it's not, it's clothing fabric. It has I believe these are the Kurans, or could also be called a phoenix, which is, and I love the stylized smoke or clouds in this. It's very beautiful. Then this one is going to be for my husband, Roger, and I don't know if you can get this on if you can see that. I love the selvages. Selvages are just beautiful, and I'm going to have to make sure that I cut all those off and make them into a special pillow or something, because I love seeing the kanji on there. This one is more like the fabric for Corey's. It's a little bit lighter.
You hold it up so they can see the pattern.
Yeah. It's almost patchwork, which I thought was very cute. Well, maybe I shouldn't say cute since it's for my husband. Now he'll want the other fabric.
Too bad.
Yep.
Get it made before he sees the program.
Yeah. Prices there for fabric are very comparable to us, if not a little bit less. When you get into the fabrics, like with the koi on it, it starts to get expensive. And they base their yardage, it's meters. And it was great watching her do it, because she had a meter stick. She would roll it out.
Because they come on a big roll.
These aren't regular bolts. They do sell bolts, but these are on big rolls. And she hooks the end of the fabric on the end of the meter stick, and she goes, and grabs it and goes like this. Then she lays it down, and there's like a channel. And you think, okay, she's going to cut it in that channel. But then she takes it, she lifts it up, kind of flips it, moves it over anywhere from 6 to 8 inches. And then she has these shears about this long. And she just makes a little snip, and then she sticks it in there, and she pulls like this. And it's shut that, I would not want it. it's sharper than a rotary blade. It's got to be. Now these are some of the quilters cottons that I found. This one has monks on it, which I thought were very cute. Then the next one had owls. I don't know, can you get that okay, Joan? And then, of course, it would be sacrilege not to get anything with the happy cats. That's a good luck charm there, too.
Yes.
They actually have stores devoted to just this cat with the little paw that, you know, does this. And it was actually quite fun. This fabric was 307 yen, I think it was. So it was the equivalent to like $3.07 a yard. And I thought that was very reasonable.
The prices actually change, even though they stay the same, because the
fluctuation of the dollar and the yen. When we ordered my yen for the trip, it was worth $10 less than when we actually, or more than when we picked it up. So we actually physically got less yen than what we had paid for. But being that this is how you get it, it's weird. It's the stock market. But all in all, it was a great trip. I was very tired.
Yes.
I went on to a aquarium that was 10 stories up in a building. I found that to be quite unusual. I was not expecting an aquarium that high in the air. It's like, what if you spring a leak? Somebody's getting wet. I visited one of many temples, Shinto temples, and I also saw where the old imperial palace was that had long since burned down, and I can't remember his name, but what they did when that particular emperor died is the next emperor burned down his temple or his home, and they left all the caissons or all the walls left. And I got to see the cherry trees just starting. There were two cherry trees blooming when I left. So it was very fun. I'm not sure I would do it again. If I did, I'd want to stay for about a month. And believe me, I want to stop by all of those American restaurants. Just me.
Yeah, well, the McDonald's are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
In Asia, you can get McDonald's. They have a Coke floats. So you have the Coke with the ice. Then they put the ice cream on top of the ice, and then they put the, topping on top of that. So it's rather unusual, but very good.
I got to experience the last night. I got to experience Baskin and Robbins. There were some muskmelon flavored ice cream. I did not try it. I had vanilla because I knew it was a flavor I could go with. I'm a Puritan here. But they had some strange names for some of them. And those places were packed.
Yes.
And they have restaurants that are some of them are barely wider than this table. Maybe even some of them are like double the size of this. You go in, you eat, you get out. And that's exactly what they want you to do. The train system, nobody talks on their phone in the train system or the subway system or on the buses. They don't, and they have no problem telling you that in about 6 different languages. And I had to laugh because they'll sit there, they'll play on their phone, they'll text. Everybody has earbuds in that has a phone if they're texting. and it's very clean country.
Yes.
It's very
Yes.
clean.
Yes.
Also, we went to Mexico, which is about 3 hours out of Tokyo. I want to say it's northeast of Tokyo.
I think
I
that's
think
right.
that's right. I'm hoping that my north, south, east, and west are the same there. I mean, it's the same Earth, so though it seemed like a different world.
Well,
But
let's
oh
see.
well, yes. It would be right here. I was right there, and we actually went up this way, so we were actually a little closer to the tip over here.
Okay.
But I got to see indigo being made,
Isn't that it?
dye. It's
That's really
stinky,
something.
but it's really cool. They have pots in the ground. There's 4 pots, and then there's a central pot that is like a fire, and it cooks the fabric in these pots. And I wish I would have gotten better pictures now, but I did get some pictures. They just weren't that good of pictures because I wasn't sure what I could take pictures of and what I couldn't.
Right, right.
So I did not want to insult anybody and not. But they had many, many of these
Groups of 4.
Groups of 4.
Well, with the pot in the middle.
and I really wanted to get a yard of fabric, but it was priced very prohibitively.
Yes.
It was like $60 for a 1 yard piece.
For a meter.
Or excuse me, for a meter,
Yeah.
yes. And I mean, it was great. I would have loved to have done, and I may just go ahead and wire my son some money because he's going to go back there. But at Mexico, where he interned for a ceramics family, they have what's called a ladder kiln, which is, there's a kiln here, 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 and it goes uphill.
Yes.
And I want to
yes.
say there were 7 of these
Okay.
kilns that are all intertwined together. And it was just beautiful. I mean, just seeing it, I've never seen a kiln like that. And we got to, I got to paint 2 plates.
Okay.
And when he comes back, he should be back in August. They're going to send
Fire
my
them.
paint, they're going to fire them and send my plates back.
That's one place I
drew
didn't
on.
get to visit.
It
when I
was,
there.
it was, I loved the country because there's nowhere near as many signs, and electrical is everywhere. They have huge substations, easily once every mile. There's just wires everywhere in Tokyo proper, you know, in the, when you get into the country, and I got to ride in a car.
Okay. Oh.
And that was different. I
Isn't
did
that-
not drive,
did
but I
you
got
sit
to
in the
ride.
front seat?
Yes, I did. And that
Uh-huh.
was an experience because you're seeing cars. You're in the passenger seat, so you're on this side. Driver's over here, and the cars are passing you on that side. So when they turn right, which is, believe it or not, is more like a left for them, which would be our left-hand turn, you know, you see people coming and they're coming at you, being the passenger. It's just a little bit different feeling.
Did you see the garages, the car garages?
Oh, the one where they lift it up on a lift. They pull in, and the guy gets out of his car, and it will lift it up and
Move
file
in
it
there. Yeah.
somewhere in the
It's around
yeah,
Quilting.
yeah. So between that and, I only saw about 6 dogs while I was there, and they were all in clothing of some sort, sweatshirt, whatever. And most of them were small, except at Mexico, where they had a Dalmatian, and that was their, I don't know, their
pet.
Their pet. Only saw 1 cat, and that was when I was at the museum in Mexico. And the gentleman that was originally there that started this type of ceramics that they do, It was, I believe it was related to one of the cats he had, but they made it into his home. They moved it to this spot.
Okay.
And his studio and everything are in there, and this cat walks around like he owns the place, and he pretty much does.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Thank you,
it.
Faith.
Thank you.